Hi, Film Loom here. Today, I'm going to explain a sci-fi show called 12 Monkeys. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. By the year 2043, a deadly virus of unknown origin has wiped out a total of 7 billion human beings. The 1% of immune people that are now left live in underground bunkers and struggle to survive in a harsh, post-apocalyptic world. One such survivor is a young man named James Cole, who is currently wandering the wastelands with his friend. The duo soon enters the Office of Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC facility. They look around for a while until Cole retrieves a broken watch from the skeleton of a CDC scientist. After this, the two friends return to a discreet location known as Project Splinter. It is a secretive program that consists of a team of scientists led by Dr. Jones. It is revealed that the team has recently built a time machine after 30 years of hard work. With this revolutionary technology, they plan to send Cole back in time to prevent the virus from spreading. Cole knows that the world they are living in is destined to be doomed. He thus agrees to volunteer for this mission and try his best to save the world. Before sending Cole back in time, Dr. Jones' team gives him special injections to help his body cope with the journey. They then place him in the huge time machine and send him back to the year 2015. Cole's mission is to find the chief CDC scientist, Dr. Cassie Rayleigh, who has the information about the source of the disease that will spread in 2017. Unfortunately, due to a technical error, Cole lands in 2013 but goes forward with the plan anyway. He heads straight to a medical conference where Cassie is presenting a paper on the dangers of communicable diseases. She finishes her presentation and quickly gets into her car outside. Cassie plans to return to her apartment as usual when suddenly, Cole appears in the back seat. Before she can make sense of what is happening, he grabs her mouth and threatens her to drive away. They soon reach a secluded alleyway where Cole explains that he is from the future. The time traveler adds that if they don't work together, the whole world will be destroyed. Meanwhile, Cassie's boyfriend, Aaron, is worried when she doesn't show up back at her apartment. He immediately calls the police, and it doesn't take them long to track down Cassie's car. An increasingly desperate Cole begins to explain his story, telling her about the future and the mission he is on. Cassie, obviously, is skeptical of these claims and thinks he is a psycho who is obsessed with the world's doom. But Cole is determined to prove that he's telling the truth. He then pulls out the watch that he had found in the CDC facility back in 2043 AD. Cassie is shocked to see that it is the same watch that she is currently wearing. Cole then uses his knife to scratch the glass of the watch Cassie is wearing. Shockingly, the exact same scratch mark appears on the watch that Cole has brought with him. Upon seeing this, Cassie is left speechless and finally realizes that he is telling the truth. Cole then explains that he was sent to prevent a deadly disease from being released in 2017. He tells her that the disease had been created in a lab by a man named Leland Goins. If they can kill him, they will change the course of history. However, a confused Cassie replies that she has never heard of any Leland Goins. This makes Cole realize that she is not the main scientist at the CDC, and she doesn't have the necessary information yet. Cole thus tells her to meet him at the John Adams Hotel in Philadelphia in 2 years' time. He then disappears into thin air, leaving Cassie stunned and confused. 2 years pass by, and we see Cassie waiting for him in the same hotel on the same day as he had instructed. Her life, however, has dramatically changed since their first meeting. She had told everyone about the disease that will wipe out the world, but no one believed her. Her relationship with her boyfriend, Aaron, has ended, while she has quit her job with the CDC. After waiting for a good few hours, Cassie is starting to lose hope. She is about to give up when Cole suddenly appears in front of her. The duo then heads to her room, where Cassie inquires about the time travel and the impending doom of the world. Cole begins to explain that in 2017, a deadly disease will spread that will kill millions of people every day. Cassie, as the chief scientist of the CDC, had been one of the key people trying to stop the outbreak, but her efforts were ultimately unsuccessful. Cole further explains that the virus was engineered by a shadowy organization known as the Army of the 12 Monkeys, who wanted to reshape the world in their own image. Leland Goins was a major player in this operation. Cole's mission is to find and eliminate him before he can release the virus. Cassie finally believes in his mission and agrees to help him stop the outbreak before it's too late. Cassie will search for a cure, but she too will eventually fall victim to the disease. However, before she dies, Cassie will record a message revealing that the disease had been started by a man named Leland Goins. She will make it clear that the only person who can stop this is a man named Cole. Upon hearing that her own future self had set this chain of events in motion, Cassie is stunned. Cole's mission is to kill Leland, thereby preventing the disease from spreading. If the mission is successful, there would be no need to build a time machine in the future. This would mean that Cole would disappear from reality, but it is a sacrifice he is willing to make. Now fully committed to the mission, Cassie reveals that she has been searching for Leland Goins for the past 2 years. She has discovered that he is the CEO of a private company involved in making biological weapons. She also knows that he will be attending a party tonight and can use her connections to get herself and Cole in. Later that night, the duo reaches their destination and is promptly joined by Aaron. He approaches Cassie and tells her that if she hadn't lost her mind to all that world-ending doom talk 2 years ago, they would still be together. Cassie plays along, pretending to be interested in the conversation. This gives Cole enough time to scan the room for his main target. He soon spots Leland, who is busy introducing his topmost scientist, Peter, to the guests. Cole, who is standing nearby, sees this as the perfect opportunity to strike. However, as he approaches Leland, the latter's guards see him pulling out a gun and immediately capture him. Cassie, being the guest who escorted Cole into the party, is also promptly arrested. Following this, the two intruders are taken to a secret lab where Leland runs several tests on Cole. Scientist Peter is fascinated by his brain, which seems to be behaving in a more complex way than normal humans. Peter believes that Cole is experiencing time differently from others and wants to study him further. After the tests are done, Cole is thrown into a room with Cassie, but he wastes no time and quickly comes up with a plan to escape the place. He takes her watch, the same one she had been wearing in 2013, and hides it in his pocket. This is when Leland enters the room and reveals that he has been studying Cole's brain scans. He claims that Cole has the ability to travel through time as he had seen him before in 1987 AD. Upon hearing this, Cole is shocked, as he has never been to 1987 before. Leland adds that Cole was looking for something called the Army of the 12 Monkeys because they were going to end the world. He then orders his guards to kill Cassie and dissect Cole for scientific studies. However, the latter quickly brings the future and present version of Cassie's watch in contact with each other. This creates a temporal storm, causing space-time to slow down and a massive explosion to occur. In the chaos, Cole manages to save himself and Cassie, while Leland is injured. Cole takes advantage of the situation and shoots Leland in the head for good measure. He feels a sense of relief that he has finally changed the future and saved the world from destruction. However, Cassie quickly points out that if Cole has indeed changed the future, he should not be there. His continued existence means that the world will still be destroyed in 2017. Cole is confused and wonders who else could have allowed the disease to spread. He then tells Cassie to get as far away as she can and hide. As she leaves the building, Cole disappears into thin air. At the designated time and place, Cole pretends to be mentally ill. He deliberately assaults 2 police officers, ensuring that he is soon admitted to the same hospital as Jennifer. Once inside, he carefully observes his surroundings, trying to blend in while gathering information. After spending a few days in the hospital with her, he manages to gain Jennifer's trust and learns about her father, Leland. Jennifer reveals that Leland had a secret laboratory where he was keeping something hidden. However, she refuses to disclose the exact location, insisting that only she and one other person knew about it. Despite Cole's persistent attempts to persuade her, she remains tight-lipped about the address. Meanwhile, Cassie discovers that Cole has been locked up in a mental institution. Wasting no time, she rushes to free him. Using her credentials as a doctor, she gains access to the facility and quickly locates Cole. As the two engage in a hurried conversation, an unexpected event occurs. They witness a group of strange, masked men storming the hospital and kidnapping Jennifer. The leader of the group, a tall, old man known as the Pallid Man, seems to have a personal vendetta against Cole. He points to a scar on his left cheek and ominously claims that he received the injury because of Cole. However, Cole has no recollection of ever encountering the man before. Despite his confusion, Cole does everything in his power to stop the masked men from taking Jennifer. He fights valiantly, but he is vastly outnumbered. The Pallid Man and his men manage to escape with Jennifer, leaving Cole behind, frustrated and uncertain about his next move. Realizing that they are running out of options, Cole and Cassie come to the conclusion that they must find the other person who knew about Leland's secret lab. This might be their only chance to locate and destroy the virus before it spreads uncontrollably. As Cassie delves deeper into her research, she uncovers a critical piece of information. Jennifer used to work in her father's lab a few years ago. During her time there, she collaborated with a Haitian doctor named Henry. These two were the only survivors of a brutal terrorist attack on the lab, which resulted in the gruesome deaths of every other scientist involved. However, Cassie's research also reveals that Henry was later found dead in Haiti in 2014, killed by a gunshot wound. In a shocking turn of events, Cassie confesses that she actually knew Henry and had worked with him in the past. She suggests that Cole time travel back to 2014 in order to meet Henry and find out the location of the secret lab. If they succeed in locating it, they can destroy the virus once and for all. However, Cassie warns Cole that if he encounters her past self in 2014, he must not engage with her. She explains that her past self would not understand the situation, and interacting with her could disrupt the timeline, causing unforeseeable consequences. After finalizing their plan, Cole travels back to the year 2043 and discusses the next steps with Dr. Jones and her team. Following an intense deliberation, they all agree that there is no other way forward. They must find Henry and uncover the whereabouts of the secret lab. With no time to waste, Cole prepares for his next mission and travels to Haiti in 2014. Upon arriving in Haiti, Cole finds himself in the middle of a devastating cholera outbreak that has ravaged the nation. A team of U.S. CDC doctors, including Cassie, are working alongside local medics to contain the crisis and prevent further fatalities. Knowing that Cassie's presence complicates matters, Cole carefully disguises himself as a patient by wearing a mask and infiltrates the temporary medical camp where Henry is stationed. He approaches Henry and urgently requests his help, claiming that his family is in grave danger. However, before Henry can respond, Cassie arrives at the scene, forcing Cole to retreat to avoid detection. Despite this brief encounter, Henry has other immediate concerns. The medical camp is running dangerously low on antibiotics and other essential supplies, so he sets out to meet a local dealer to procure more stock. As Henry makes his way through the crowded streets, he becomes increasingly aware that someone is following him. His suspicions are confirmed when Cole steps out of the shadows and confronts him. The two men meet face to face for the first time. Wasting no time, Cole explains his true purpose. He tells Henry that he needs to know the location of Leland's secret lab and insists that he means no harm. Henry, sensing the urgency of the situation, immediately understands the gravity of the matter. He agrees to help Cole but insists on retrieving the much-needed antibiotics first. Together, the two men walk to a nearby local home, where Henry collects the medical supplies. However, their mission takes a dark turn when they are suddenly ambushed by a group of armed men led by the Pallid Man. Strangely, this version of the Pallid Man has no scar on his left cheek, indicating that he has never met Cole before. This realization confirms that this encounter is their first meeting in the timeline. Recognizing the danger, Cole immediately springs into action. He attacks the Pallid Man's guards, creating a distraction that allows Henry to escape. Determined to protect his only lead, Cole fights off multiple enemies before coming face to face with the Pallid Man himself. Despite his age, the Pallid Man proves to be a formidable adversary. A fierce struggle ensues, with Cole using every ounce of his strength to gain the upper hand. In a desperate move, he grabs a nearby glass bottle and smashes it across the Pallid Man's face, leaving a deep wound on his left cheek. This is the very injury that the Pallid Man would later claim to have received because of Cole. Bleeding and stunned, the Pallid Man decides to retreat, choosing to flee the scene rather than risk further injury. With the immediate threat neutralized, Cole rushes to find Henry. Once they are safely away from danger, Cole demands the location of Leland's secret lab. However, Henry reveals a troubling truth: he does not know where the lab is located. He explains that all the scientists, including himself, were transported there blindfolded to ensure secrecy. Despite this setback, Henry provides Cole with a crucial clue. He recalls that just before the terrorist attack, the lab had installed a high-end decontamination system. If Cole can track down that specific equipment, he may be able to pinpoint the location of the lab. This information is a breakthrough, offering Cole a viable lead in his quest to stop the virus. However, Cole is faced with a difficult decision. He knows that the Pallid Man will stop at nothing to uncover the location of the lab. If Henry remains alive, he will eventually be captured and tortured for information. Unable to take that risk, Cole makes a heart-wrenching decision. With a heavy heart, he draws his gun and shoots Henry in the head, ensuring that his knowledge will never fall into the wrong hands. With the weight of his actions pressing down on him, Cole steels himself for the next step in his mission. Now armed with a critical piece of information, he must track the decontamination system and locate the lab before it is too late. The fate of humanity depends on it.